YouTube, welcome to the Top 8 Grand Finale and Top Deck List. By watching as long as you can, that greatly supports these videos, even if you have us on in the background while you're doing laundry or working out. This is the day where Branded Fusion is at 2. While we don't have the new alt arts yet, this is exactly how the deck will be playing just 1 week from now in-game. Also, we had Sprite fully unleashed at full freaking power, unlimited blue, unlimited jet, unlimited starter, and the Alpha is not banned. We also have Sprint, which they didn't have on release, and the Nimble Beaver is fully unlimited also. With that all said, let's go.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
Set up the Lost, deploy a Cartesia. We have Mirror Jade, non-target monster banish. We also have the Quem, which could reborn Albaz to fuse into the opponent's field, plus go into a form of disruption into a Mercurier monster negates. We also have the Banishment, which could fuse their field into a form of disruption. It's about 6 forms of disrupts. Super Poly. Well, Quem could now just reborn it back, or Banishment could reborn it back. It's not that big of a deal. And Stake Your Soul. We're going to reveal the Ash to summon a Vanquisher Ryzen. Ryzen is going to be revealing 2 cards to destroy the column. Uh-oh, that's a problem. We're gonna lose Quem, and it's the entire column, right? The destroy all monsters. We're just gonna lose the Quem. So we're gonna have the Banishment. Ideally, the Quem would be still triggerable to reborn a Mirror Jade, but what I think we're going to be doing here is using the Banishment to reborn Mirror Jade, and then Quem and Dragostapelia will fuse. Ideally, the Banishment would be able to fuse with the Raisin to stop the column destruction. Let's get to it. Yep, exactly as I predicted, going to Coritis. And then my goal would be to ideally stop them from going into a monster from the hand, maybe, or even a Link 1. So the Mirror Jade non-target monster banish achieves both of those plays. Where otherwise, if you had a targeting disruption, let's say a Drill Beam onto the Raisin just to get it off the field, they could chain a monster from the hand to return it back and then outplay you completely. Lost is triggering. We have the Jiao Long chaining to the Lost, since the fusion wasn't not on Chain Link 1, thus you could respond to the fusion summon, chaining the Max C. Come forth and summon. We know there's 2 bodies in the field, so banishing to stop the Link 1 play is not possible, so we just allow it. Rock of the Vanquisher under Max freaking C. We're going to Mirror Jade, non-target monster banish here. With the Rinbrum, we have another way to access our Engrave Albaz to reborn and fuse with their field. Now, it's probably a mistake to spin the Mirror Jade, because then and only then can we use the Albaz to reborn with Rinbrum to fuse with the Typhon to then just resummon a Mirror Jade, and the newly summoned Mirror Jade will be activatable, and the newly summoned one will just be the one that you spun back in the extra deck. But, I mean, you're just in a really bad spot. We're just going to be using it right now. We're going to keep our Mirror Jade on field, reborning the Albaz, fuse away with your Typhon. And that fusion play is going to be fusing into Lubellion. Lubellion is going to be discarding to fuse with the Field Graver Banish into an Albion Sanctifier, which could grab 2 cards from either player's graveyard, summon them onto the field. Now, there can be only one, forces both players to only have 1 of each monster type, and this field is Worm, Spellcaster, Dragon, Fiend. It pretty much already is almost 1 of every different monster type. There's too many dragons, of course, but still more than 8,000 damage worth. Nice try on the Floodgate, buddy. Lethal damage. No any animosity towards a player that chooses to play a Floodgate. Always blame the game, not the player. But still, it can be funny when a Floodgate does not work out. No hand traps besides the Serenir. Serenir against Vanquish Soul here. Probably not going to be too good. Let's start off with a bait. bait and to grab a Raisin when we already have our Raisin. Raisin on summon, searching for the Jiaolong. This is a bait for Veiler or Imperm. They're normally going to have a monster that could dodge the Imperm or Veiler, so be very careful about that. As we now go into Rock of the Vanquisher. Rock's going to add the Raisin back as the Jiaolong reveals 2 fires to search our deck for anything. We have the Snow Devil. So non-target pop the entire field. What are our forms of disruption? The Raisin can pop a column. The Snow Devil could wipe out the field. The Called By could finger a card. We have Ash Blossom to gain interaction with the deck, most likely going to be the Branded Fusion. We have the Jiaolong likely searching for a form of disruption. Do we have a way to get an Earth monster, though, to then get popping with that monster? I think it's about 4 disruption. Grab the Valius. Raisin could search for the Earth, so it is 5. I'd say 5 disruption. Now, playing in the draw phase here with the branded opening to ensure that we do not get Droll and Lockbirded. No Droll. Branded in High Spirits will also be revealing the Serenir and likely discarding it to search our deck for an Albion Shrouded Dragon. Brand opening will then be discarding that Albion Shrouded as we summon a Quem. Quem will send from the deck to the grave an Albaz card or a branded spell or trap. Serenir also sent a branded spell or trap. With the Retribution, we could add back the in-grave branded fusion. Alubur on summon, searching the deck for the second freaking copy. What the heck? 2 branded fusions, ain't no way. Set up the branded Lost. As we're now going to Rock of the Vanquisher, summon a Vanquish Soul from the hand. That will be the Raisin in the same column as the Quem, as we search for another Earth. And now we're going to wipe away the Quem, giving us, that's our 1 of 5 disruption, or more. And now we have the Caesar Valius, which will pop a card on the field. Branded Fusion into the Ash Blossom, negate. As we also follow up, activate the Caesar Valius to pop a card on the field. Get popping, we still have the effect to wipe out the entire field. We're going to take out the Branded Lost. Branded Fusion, be gone, rip. We have Albion, send an Albaz from the deck to the graveyard. You have Retribution adding the Branded Lost back. So I do want to say something here. I don't think we should have sent 2, why 2 Branded Fusions, right? One gets Ash, the other does nothing. If the other Branded Fusion were a branded in white or a branded red, what we could have done is we could have added it back and then with the Albaz Engrave, make a play. We could have still gone into a Mirror Jade potentially. Yeah, Brandon White would have been a play. Call with the Grave, finger the Albion before the end of the turn. You do want to do it before they reach the end phase, otherwise they're going to be able to search or set. Now that Albion, what was it going to do? Main phase 3, grab red, activate red, add Albaz, fuse, trigger the loss, search, can't respond. We had plays. That was the way. We'll top it in game 3. We don't care about Ash. No Ash, no Ash. Don't Ash me. We good? We good? Yep, let's go. Albion Branded Dragon is here on summon, activate, fuse with the Mercurier and Albaz here. Into the Lubellian Searing Dragon. Discard our second copy of Branded Fusion. Trigger Mercurier to search our deck. We have not even used up our normal summon yet. We're going to go into our Mirror Jade. Albion Shrouded is going to be drawing a card, but first, let's not randomly draw into the Branded Lost that we're already grabbing from the deck. Let's send Albaz from the deck to the grave, grab a Cartesia. Cartesia, fuse with Cartesia into Grand Granol, which is a good way to get the Titan-clad Engrave to summon a Quem from the deck. Lost could search for a Mercurier. If we play a second copy, I think we do, right? Search Quem, we could normal summon Quem, sure. We still have our normal summon. We're going to draw a card with Garura instead. Kit. Now, Kit on search returns a card from the hand back in the deck, and we already want to use the Super Poly by discarding. Set up the Banishment, Cartesia. We already have another Cartesia Engrave if we want to reborn it with the Quem. Very nice. Super Poly, fuse with the field. Banishment, fuse with the field into a form of disruption. Non-target monster, banish with the Mirror Jade. Albaz, fuse with the field into a form of disruption. And I don't know if we play another Mercurier to give us 7 disruption. Let's just see what happens. Super Poly used against us. What the? we lose at least one disruption there. Mirror Jade activate to wipe out the opposing field. Quem's going to try to reborn the Mirror Jade back. We're going to negate the Quem, but we could dodge the negate by using Banishment Mate to reborn the Mirror Jade anyway and then fuse with them, or reborn something else, then fuse with them, or just Super Poly. Super Poly it up. Fuse with the field. We're no longer negated. Mirror Jade is back. And we still have the ability to reborn Albaz and fuse. So we could Mirror Jade non-target monster banish. We could Albaz fuse into a disruption, into a banishment fuse, into a disruption. And we also have Mercurier. This is potentially 6 forms of disruption. Huh? What the? You super poly me, I super poly you, you super poly me again? This is 3 super polys in 1 turn? That was something. We're gonna banish ourselves because this has to be remained on the field to then activate to search our deck for a Raisin. I think we banish ourselves. Huh? Yeah, okay. It's kind of a form of disruption if you equip it on their monster, okay. We're attempting to Albaz fuse and then fuse into another Mirror Jade. We're gonna Call by the Grave, finger that. Not today, Banishment cannot reborn Albaz to dodge the Call by the Grave. And the Alibur can be reborn with Banishment. Cartesia in the end phase, add back. Wipe away the opposing field with the Mirror Jade. Banish the Retribution, add back. Look at all the pluses. The follow-up, the recursion, the grind game of Branded, it's too strong. Damn. We are up big time. Huge advantage. The power of 2 Branded Fusion, which we saw in at least 2 of the games, right? Not that it actually mattered. I don't think 2 Branded Fusion actually mattered in any of the games. We can't say it increased our chance to draw Branded Fusion because we had both of them in our hand. And... Whoa, no, Pash! What was that? No BM in the event. All right. Set up with the Extreme Session, which will draw per activation of our Punk. Per up to 2 times, that is. We have Valor negating the Xiamen or Punk Seaman. That is the OCG translation. You could now use Triple Tactics Talent to look at the hand or draw 2. Ogre, pop in the session. We're not letting you draw a card for free here. It would also, it does a lot of things. It draws 2 and summons a monster from the hand. We do not want that to happen. In desperation, we have to draw 2. Rising Scale, that is great. Banish the Extreme Session, come forth and summon, activate the summon from the deck. You have Baldrake, which I don't think it does anything. If the Amazing Dragon tries to reborn a monster, it's not even a light or dark. No, it's water. Can't banish the water. Shirakusai. Now, you want to Ash Blossom the fusion monster, so you make a Jam Fever to negate the Ash Blossom. Thus, the Punk deck is a lot better than it used to be. For this main interaction here, that is why. Summon 2, search for the Narawashi Surprise. Risen Dragite for a spell and trap card negate. Trigger the Shirakusai effect of the Deer Note reborning it. Now, what are our disruptions? It's all disruption. Disrupt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 cards, 6 disruptions. If you don't know what they are, then be surprised as we wipe away the Lurie with our Narawashi Surprise. As we Jam Fever, negate and destroy a monster effect. As we Drill Beam, negate the negate. As we then Dragite, negate the negate, negating the negate. Negate with the Dragite Mate into a scoop. Nibiru wipe the field. Ash negate interaction with the deck. Shirakusai, Synchro Summon. It synchros during their turn. It fuses on our turn. It would synchro into the Amazing Dragon, spinning multiple cards in the field back to the hand. Nicky Boy knows. Who told him? He knows better. Lordy Load searching for that Drill Beam. And now you can't search for tracks, but I still have an activatable Drill Beam. Perfect. It sometimes really is that simple. Sequencing a play differently is the difference between completely losing or winning a game. We have that extra disruption. If Ogre, Drill Beam, and Max C. Ash negates. the Max C. Drill Beam cannot drill the Ash. Negate. We have the Ogre and Drill. Not going to drill the Teleport. Punk Seaman activates. Search. Drill it away. I don't know about this. I think I'd be saving Drill for a Sharakusai or Rising Carp. We are going to be banishing the Foxy Toon. Rising Scale, summon for the deck a Wagon. Wagon grab the Extreme Session. Come forth into the Amazing Dragon. I guess we would be forced to Drill Beam this. Ogre get poppin'. As the Rising Scale is still reborn. With our Rising Scale, we're going to follow up with the Extreme Session. Ogre Dance, searching our deck for the Sharakusai. It's almost inevitable that they're going to be going into the Sharakusai play. This is the way. And then Drill Beam on Summon. Just banish this fool out of here. Or just banish the Sharakusai. It'd probably better to wait for the Rising Carp. Come forth and then this does too much. It's like search, another draw. Jam Drive's another search. Reborn from the grave with the Deer Note. Punk is punking it up. We are straight punking. Reborn the Rising Carp, which could give a Punk the ability to double attack. Do I think we have lethal damage here? I don't know. Oh, Psychic and Punisher. We're at 4,400 life. Can we lethal damage? Boost up the Jam Drive. The Psychic and Punisher could send a card to then banish a card. Boost it up to 7,100. It's not lethal. Not even close. Wait. You double attacked. Of course we got lethal. What the? Rising Carp double attack with the Dragon Drive, which is why we had that lethal damage. Crazy. Yeah, Rising Carp is nuts. That was nuts. Good job, Punk. Let's go. Even Blue Eyes was not safe. Konami's like, sorry, it's tier 1 on MDM. We gotta hit it. We're going to turn on the Drill Beam by summoning the Psy-Frame Driver. We also turn on the Primate Roar. Yeah, we're double turned on here. The Little Knight is going to chain banish to a monster effect. We have Veiler negate a monster, Ash negate an interaction with the deck, Drill Beam negate and banish anything, and also Primate Roar, non-target banish a normal summon monster or any other monster that's less than 2,500 on the normal summon. The Lacrima could send Paradise from the hands of the grave, right? Yeah, it can. I remember having to do that once. No, it actually can't. I did that in TCG. Sorry, Jimmy, I cheated you. Yeah, it is a Garnet, actually. Whoops. Summon the Requiem. Senjin into the back row. We did not Ash that. Hold the Ash. We also didn't Drill Beam. We didn't chain Little Knight to banish the Senjin. Still didn't Ash. Golem search the Wedju Temple. To battle we go. Drill Beam, banish away the Senjin before the Drill Beam would no longer be activatable. You still have the Engrave Primate Roar activatable on a normal summon. Summon the Doom Dragon, activate, chain the Little Knight, banish away the Doom Dragon here. Sure. And then we're going to Hollowed Azamina, chain Wanted Seeker. Ash, negate the Wanted Seeker from searching for a Diablo Star. We have Veiler, and we have Primate Roar. Double disrupts left. Snake Eye Fiendsmith versus Fiendsmith Control. This is a personal duel here. Negate the Brasala Go. LL Wood is laughing at the Snake Eye player for not playing Fiendsmith Control. Many people, including myself and L Wood, just believe this is the better deck. Why play the worst version of playing Fiendsmith? Banish away, engrave the Prime. I think this was a difficult banish. Was it really? I don't know. You banish Driver, it turns off Barrel and Roar. You banish Roar, it turns off Roar. You banish Barrel, the Roar is still activatable. We could just not normal summon, I guess. Summon for the deck, Engraver. End our turn. Okay, we just don't normal summon. Did we not even Engraver? Am I missing something? I'm kind of confused. Did we forget to activate Engraver? I think we don't play Fiendsmith Tract, which means we also don't play Lurie. Your deck can consist of just Lacrima, Crimson Tear, and Engraver. 2 cards, no Lurie, no Tract. Okay. That's got to be the case. What? It's true. There it is. Tournament topping. It works. It looks bad because we see Engraver here, but that also means we're not playing a second Engraver. It's just 1 Engraver. We drew a brick. It's 1 brick. We drew it. Little Knight. Chain Banish away the opposing Little Knight. Let's equip. Let's get sending. 3,600 damage. Oh, now down. Let's scoop it up. We're scooping. We are scooping. Let me, I've seen it in the TCG, but for Master Duel, let me double check any Mad Lads doing that. Snake Eye Fiendsmith, not playing Tract. Top 16, top 4. This is playing 1 Engraver. This is 1 Engraver, and where's the Lacrima? Was Lacrima not out yet? Maybe we're not even playing Lacrima. We're just playing 1 Engraver. That's an option. There we go. Okay, sure. Senjin in the back row, not activating Max C. Can we see the triple tactics talent here? What is going on? Of course we don't. We just want a further commitment and or to play around Gamma. Fiendsmith Control is bringing back Gamma. It's pretty much the only deck that is using Gamma. This, of course, is Snake Eye Fiendsmith, thus it's not playing Gamma. We're going to be looking at that hand, return back the barrel, but they still have the Engraver play. Let's Engraver it up. We have Veiler for the sequence. Fiendsmith Tract can, in a way, help potentially play around a Veiler on sequence. Let's Lacrima Tear, send from the deck Engraver here. Magna Hut, banish Nibiru, activate Magna Hut, come forth into sequence. Sequence activate, negate. Well, we have not activated the Engraver yet. Thus, we can Engrave Reborn, Fiendsmith Tract, and then fuse them up if we want to go that line. Engraver, return Engraver, and get ready to get Tracted. Or, let's Requiem first, summon from the deck. Yep, we want to fuel the graveyard. Equip onto the Engraver, send a card from the field to the grave, and now we Tract. So we wanted to make sure to fuel the grave and send a card from the field to the grave first to now Lacrima it up. Lacrima into a Wave King Caesar seems to be the way. First, we're going to battle it up, get as much damage as we can in. There's no way this is lethal. Why do I want the lethal damage? Because of the Millenniums. I was supposed to end on a Wave King Caesar. Damn. Lacrima counters Millennium. We are setting up with the Golem. Ogre is going to get popping. Senjin or Golem to attempt to summon and search. Stop all of it with 1 Ogre. Now what? We do have Regain to banish Ogre to draw a card here. We could normal summon the Veiler to go into full Fiendsmith. Yep. Magna Hut's going to be searching for another Bestial during the end phase, which is not too good. Normal summon as I thought. And let's go. Moon into Requiem, Requiem into Crimson, send from the deck Engraver, return back the Moon, Engraver, and Lacrima. We're going to turn the Lacrima into a Princess, and now we go into a Wave King Caesar and pass. Double special summon negate, and the Druid Swarm Baldrake play. Baldrake could banish a monster summon from the extra deck. That's at least a form of disruption. And the Druid Swarm being sent to the grave could then send another special summon monster to the graveyard. The ceiling is 4. All right. 3 to 4 disruption, though. 5 is the ceiling, my bad. The Crimson Tear going to be reborn from the deck, being summoning onto the Requiem, then summon, then send Fiendsmith in Paradise, then send a special summon monster to the graveyard. 5 disruption. Okay. Prince. Ideally, we could stop the Prince before it activates. We're going to summon a Druid Swarm, banish the Veiler, draw a card with the Regain, maybe draw into another hand trap. Serenir, not really. Requiem, summon for the deck. We have Lacrima sending the Fiendsmith in Paradise. And we could not stop the Prince from sending Dragoon to search for an Abyss Shrine. Dragoon, trigger, searching for the Minstrel. Minstrel could rip away the Baldrake. That's going to force us to summon Baldrake early. Okay, not letting you rip away one of our main plays. Now, if we send Druid Swarm to banish an extra deck monster, the Druid Swarm will not send the Prince. It has to be special summoned. Infantry taking out the Caesar. We're now down to 3 disruption. Abyss Shrine, which would have been negated by the Wave King Caesar. The Prince, which would have been negated by Wave King Caesar. Both our negates were right there, mate. We're going to send with the Abystius. We're going to search and search. This is why it's a really good idea to use Dragoons on them. I should say Droll. Droll the Dragoons is what I mean. We're going to Poseidra, send the Mermail Shadow. We're going to bounce a card in the field back to the hand here. Send Dragoons to bounce Baldrake. If we bounce Baldrake, we lose Vanish. We lose Trigger Druid Storm. We're now down to 1 disruption. This is looking really bad. From 5 to 1, and it only triggers on special summon? What are we sending? If they summon the Poseidra, then send Poseidra. Poseidra triggers when sent to the grave. Dweller turns the final disruption into none. Oh, you know, he could just use it. No, it's done. That's it. We had 5, we have none, we have 0, nada, nothing. Completely stops it, 100%. He could chain it, does not matter. Nope. Could literally chain Dweller to the trap and it stops the play. It's done. The field is spun back to the hand. Is anything even activatable still? We were smart. Druid Swarm already summoned from the hand. Baldrake already summoned from the hand. Magna Hut summoned from the grave. So if we return back the Magna Hut, it could have resummoned back onto the field. Damn. Mermail with the absolute clappage. We didn't even bother activating the Fiendsmith in Paradise because we can't. So what would happen is they special, you activate Fiendsmith Paradise, you chain Dweller, you send Desiree, Desiree can't activate. That is the form of the disruption. And what did we scoop to? You see this activation? Just summon 3 bodies from the grave, you know, like plus freaking 3. Ain't no way. What? And then Anemone summon another body. So 4 bodies were about to be summoned on the field. The 4 extra spots would have been filled with all 4 bodies. 2-0. Begin. Abystius send the Mermail Shadow, trigger the Mermail Shadow, chainlink block with the Abystius. Mermail Shadow is a great use of your Ash Blossom, which we don't have. Searching for the Abyss Shrine, summoning from the deck our Neptabyss Prince. We're going to send Dragoon, search Dragoon, trigger Dragoon, search for the Minstrel, and say goodbye to that Nibiru. Discard Dragoon, banish Nibiru, trigger Dragoon, searching for the Poseidra. Abyss Shrine is going to send the Prince to summon from the deck Deep Sea. We saw the Veiler, we know it's there. So, bro, are you feeling lucky? You're gonna have to chain Veiler onto the Lord or Veiler the Deep Sea options. And if you hold Veiler and it survives the Elemental Lord, they could go into a Mermail King to then make the Deep Sea untargetable. Are you willing to take that risk? Uh-oh. Nah, we gonna use Veiler. Not even on the Elemental Lord. Veiler onto the Deep freaking Sea. Ain't no way. That's crazy. Deep Sea is summon as many fish monsters as you want from the deck. So we're gonna get rid of the Deep Sea, summon the Poseidra, and we're gonna bounce that Lyri back to the hand, trigger Dragoons. Damn. Mermail is aggressive. Yoinking your hand, clapping you up. It feels so dirty. All right, we're gonna start this off with a regained double Nibiru. You would think if you're a control deck, Nibiru is not good against you, right? Well, if they go through the Fiendsmith line, Nibiru can kind of do something. Regain trigger, reborn the Magna Hut, grab a Ball Drake from the deck. Ball Drake is our only real form of disruption that we could search for because they don't play light or dark monsters to actually banish as a form of disruption. On an extra deck summon, the Ball Drake will tribute off to then banish. We have double impermanence, triple disrupt, plus the Lacrima and Requiem into the Fiendsmith in Paradise. That's 4 forms of disruption. Cross out hits both imperms in one go. And, but if you use it on the first one, they'll chain the second one. If we preempt it in some way, which is not possible, we don't do that. Goodbye to the Gamma, trigger the Dragoons, regain trigger is going to be returning back Princess, drawing into a non-hand trap here. Search the Shadow Squad. Lacrima is going to be setting up right now our Fiendsmith in Paradise by reborning Requiem to summon the Lacrima to then send the Fiendsmith in Paradise, waiting for a special summon. Poseidra send the Mermail Shadow, activating the Mermail Shadow and the Poseidra to send Dragoons to bounce back and impermanence. Not using it, because what? You're going to stop me from bouncing back my own card? I'll just keep it. Fiendsmith in Paradise to send the Prince is a perfect play. That is the way. Prince does too much. It sends the deck, it searches from the deck, and that's why we search another Prince. Uh-oh, well, that's... Okay, fine, I'm not sending Prince since you have another Prince. Imperm, negate, but we lost our other impermanence. Whoa, we hold on to cross out. Oh, maybe you don't play Imperm. You don't, right? I guess you don't. Okay, I would think you would definitely probably be Imperming. Otherwise, what are we saving it for? Shadow Squad, discard Prince to reborn a monster, turn the field into level 7. You have Ball Drake to banish the Abyss Gaios. I think that's our last disruption. Abyss Gaios says no. What are you banishing? Negate the Ball Drake play. And with that, we're done. Yeah, no more. And now we have Poseidra Xyz, which can non-target spin 3 cards on the field back to the hand. The Magna Hut would be resummonable from the hand, so we don't spin that back. Keep it on the field. Return back the Ball Drake. Popping the Magna Hut. What is going on? This deck's got a turn 1 and a turn 2. Gargolo? Have you 2-0'd everyone? Max C in the standby phase to play around, then playing around Droll. Also plays around Triple Tactics Talent, not activatable. We could search for a trap, also draw a card with the field spell, then probably end our turn. Oh, there's our Droll. Oh, we're not ending? Huh? What? Under Max C? We're gonna hit ourselves with a Droll, right? Why would you do that? Beansmith is full combo under Droll. We don't care. What? Push Madame in the back row? Is that a play? Reborn Rising someone from the deck. Punk Seaman, Boost, and Chainlink Block from an Ash Blossom. Nice. Do we benefit from that happening? We're gonna share Kusai, fuse with the field. Rising card, someone from the deck. We did not summon for the deck. We just go into the Jam Fever instead. Okay, Serenir banish from the opposing player's graveyard here before the turn ends. Now, what do we have here? We have the Narwashi Surprise, pop a face-up card in the field, or a set card. We also have the Jam Fever, negate and destroy a monster effect. And that is our 2 forms of disrupt. I thought we were going into Fiendsmith. We don't play that. We're not cringe. We don't play Fiendsmith. That's fine. Okay, Cartesia and Alibur, giving us protection around an Imperm or Veiler, but not the Jam Fever, negate and destroy. The Cartesia is going to attempt to fuse here. I got 2 Cartesias anyway, mate. Gotcha. So what's interesting about, you gotta think about this. What are we trying to stop here? I see 2 plays with my eyes here, and that is going to be the Atlibur searching for Branded Fusion. We got that covered. That's great. We stopped that play, but the other play is a Grangrenol and Serenir. Grangrenol and Serenir get 2 cards into the grave here, which is a way to get Branded Fusion in the grave and then add it to our hand. And we thought we stopped that by popping Cartesia, because how do you make Grangrenol with Cartesia? Somehow we have another one. Wow. Asim, damn. You've been got. You have a second Cartesia in the hand? Wag on, wag off, searching for our extreme session. We're gonna be drawing up to 2 cards this turn, also with the ability to summon a monster from our hand. Let's banish the Wagon, summon the Madame. Searching for a pop plus draw into a potential hand trap here. No, dear no, and we can't even use it. Huh. I guess Little Knight was not worth it because we don't get the secondary benefit of the surprise to pop a face-up card only if we control the Punk. And then we have Ash and we have Nibiru, triple disruption here. Is this good enough against Branded? Send Retribution to potentially draw a card, chain the Branded High Spirits to, instead of drawing, get the Albion and Graveyard, which is considered to be an Albaz, which can now be used with a Branded in white potentially as we search for an Albaz. The way I view Branded is you have Branded Fusion, which the Albert gets to it. You then have the Albion and Serenir or a Quem, which gets Branded Fusion in the graveyard plus a Retribution. So that's 2 ways to use and get to your Branded Fusion. Then there's a third way. The third way, I think, is a higher priority than the Retribution and Branded Fusion play, and that is Cartesia plus an Albaz. Those are the 3 main ways the pathways to get into your Branded Fusion play, or potentially set up a Branded in white to help play around an Ash. And would you look at that? There's an Ash Blossom. Instead of Ash shutting down the deck on a Branded Fusion, we have Cartesia plus Albaz. This is not lucky. I searched for this. I planned for this. This is on purpose. This is by design. We're going to summon the kit. You know, you Ash that, that's fine. We're completely fine. This is like a checkmate. You can't imperm our fusion because I'll fuse with it. If you Ash my Branded Fusion, I'll then fuse with the Albaz that I searched for in my hand. No matter what you do, I'm good. Let's go. And you also can't Narworthy Surprise because I'll fuse with the kit. Kit and Albaz is a play, or Cartesia and Albaz. We don't specifically need the Cartesia as part of the fusion. We'll add this back for discard fodder. Come forth and summon Albion as we're possibly going into a Lubellion here. Banish from the grave, or going to the Grand Grenoble instead. Send a Lubellion from the deck to the graveyard to then tribute off Albion to, before we set up Branded Lost, our Lubellion's gonna get hit. No, oh, maybe we'll just hit the Lost instead. Nibiru the field, and then Nibiru summons a token, which is a monster summoning a monster, and we have the Grand Grenoble, which is going to be summoning from the deck a Quem. Quem sent from the deck to the grave an Albaz. Super Poly in the battle phase. Discard the Branded Fusion. Fuse it up into Garura. That's a 3,000 damage punch to the face. Quem Reborn. Is this game? No. 4,500 plus 2,500. That's actually game. We can't pop because we don't have a Punk. How did this happen? What the? Lethal damage? If it wasn't lethal, Albion could search Brandon Red in the end phase, Brandon Red activate, fuse with the Albaz, and go into a Mirror Jade. Crazy. Ooh, what do we have here? What do we have here? I see this hand and I go, I get ashed on Branded Fusion and I cry. Like, damn. Ash on the Fusion is a clap. But I don't see Ash. No Ash in sight. We are cooking. Let's go. Lost, of course, doesn't stop the Ash. Come forth into Albion Branded Fusion. You may be thinking, and it would be incorrect, that the fusion deployment into Cartesia protects your fusion from an Imperm or Veiler. No, activating fusion deployment first here actually just plays worse into a Max C or a Fua Loss. And the reason for that is the Lost already protects you from Imperm or Veiler. So why play worse into another hand trap and just hope they don't Ash you? Let's Albion chain the Branded Lost, making sure your fusion summons are on chain link 1. if you screwed up this chain link order, what would happen is this could then get imperm or veilered if you messed up the order. So again, cannot be impermed, cannot be veilered. Just draw Ash Gargolo, what the? Now, off of this, we have non-target monster banish, fuse of their field with an Albaz, and the fusion itself will be a form of disruption. The banishment could potentially fuse with their field, but likely not. I'm just counting the ceiling here into fusing into a form of disruption. The Brandon Red could likely fuse into a disruption. The Quem could maybe reborn the Albaz, and by maybe, it's very likely because the Cartesia could get the Mirror Jade Engrave after a non-target monster banishes, then we reborn, then activates a non-target monster banish again. And we have about 7 disruption here, I think so, right? 7, am I missing something? The Mercurier Search with the Branded Loss, 8. So about 8 disruption is what I'm counting. Ooh, Fool Loss, when I want to summon 20 times on your turn. I joke, but it's not joking, that you need max C on the branded player's turn and your own turn to counter branded. We got half of that right. Poseidra is here to get ready to get bouncing. We're going to bounce that branded in red. We're going to chain the branded red, grab the Albaz to the hand, then get fusion summoning. We have another Albaz. That is our only Albaz, which unfortunately we're now going to be banishing. And by banishing Albaz, we lose many forms of disrupt. That's why we didn't fuse with it. We have that mindset. Albaz is not done. We want to get Albaz in the grave with the Cartesia fusing Albaz and the Mirror Jade. That is the ideal play to then Quem, reborn the Albaz, banishment, reborn the Mirror Jade, because the banishment cannot reborn the Albaz, but then we don't have another card to discard until the Branded Loss triggers to get that card to discard. Mirror Jade, Rinbrum, we're setting it up, non-target monster banish, banish the Poseidra, as the infantry wipes out the Mirror Jade. I thank you for getting Mirror Jade in my graveyard when I'm playing Branded, especially when I have Quem and Banishment, because now it's back and it's activatable again. Let it be Branded's problem on how they figure out to get Mirror Jade engraved, because Banishment would banish the Mirror Jade. That's not a way. It's mostly going to have to be something like Cartesia. Let's get Cartesia, fusion it up into the Albion Branded Dragon, or the Deep Sea is gone. It's gonna get popped. The Lost can also search for a Mercurier to negate the Deep Sea. Yep, we haven't even used Banishment. We don't even need to use Banishment. It looks like a Star Source to me. That's a pop 2. Pop 1, pop 2 if there was another card, and it's all under Fool Loss, we don't care. Without even using Banishment, didn't even need to. Which reborns in the grave and fuses with either field. And if you have Banishment plus an Aliber in graveyard, you could just summon it and not fuse and just leave it, and then it activates on someone, searches for a follow-up. You have Abyss Shrine, discarding an Abyss Shrine to draw a card, and that's a brick. Nope. 12,000 damage. Very nice. We, you know, the Abyssal's not gonna be so good against Mermail, and Mermail, what is this? You bricked. You got Minstrel, not even activatable. You can't even take a peek at their hand. Wow. Well, they don't have a way to stop Maxi nor Fool Loss. Go Ogre against Branded. Is that... What do you even use Ogre on? You can't even Ogre Branded Loss if they summon a fusion on Chainlink 1. Oh boy. Ogre is actually best against Albaz. Albaz on summon, discard to fuse. I would be so pissed if they Ogred me. Let's deploy. We are going to chain Branded Opening to summon alongside before the Maxi resolves. We can't Fool Loss because our finger blocked the loss. Damn. Could have drawn 3 cards there, yeah? Now, beyond, sent from the deck, draw a card here. Random Mercurier. Cartesia could fuse during the opponent's turn. Oh, whoa. We taking that Maxi challenge? What do you mean another turn? I ain't going for another turn. I'm going for potential game. chain the Quem to reborn the Albion. Isn't that already game? Oh, yes, it is. That's why we banishing it. You're not summoning 2,500 when you have 55 on field. Are you out of your damn mind? Let's banish the real Outbaz for another body that's still big enough for lethal damage. 9,200. Full loss. Nope. Okay. Well, everything can attack here. Only if you bring in red would you not be able to attack directly with only that monster, specifically lethal damage. Didn't even ogre. We had to ogre the Quem and then called by. And then they could just within main phase summon Magna Hut to replace the Quem and still go for game. Wow. 2-0. That's a 2-0. That 2-0. 2-0. Let's go. The first tournament with the new ban list. And what happened with that new ban list is Blue Eyes got semi-limited, Branded Fusion went to 2, the Sprite cards got boosted. They're at the biggest, most powerful state they've ever been in the history of Master Duel. So let's see what that translated into. Smith control, untouched by the ban list. Of course, the deck is going to be even more powerful if one of its rivals, being Blue Eyes White Dragon, went down in power. And you got to be thinking, oh, did Blue Eyes really get that much worse? I don't think so. But when you get a little bit worse, and then other decks, more than one, maybe now multiple, are a little bit better than you, the usage of your deck is going to tank. It's going to severely drop, and I think that's the case what happened here. And honestly, if I'm joining an event and you're asking me to play Blue Eyes or Fiendsmith Control, I'm going to play Fiendsmith Control. It's got so many hand traps where going second is great, and it's got great turn one plays where you could set up a ton of disruption. And if I get max seed, okay, I'll pretend I'm going second. I just pass. I have a ton of hand traps. So incredibly resilient against opposing hand traps because we have so many hand traps. It's just all around really good. So let's see. Starting off with White Forest Azamina. Giovanni with the White Forest. We got the toy box version up in here. There is the extra deck. Good job, Giovanni. And you're playing it. You're finished. That was definitely a highlight of the event. Thank you for that. That was good. And then we have Plunder Patrol. Odds. 44 cards. And here's the extra deck. It is a crime from Konami. It's not cool whatsoever that the furniture cards are semi-limited. Even though with that, you're still playing just one chandelier. I thought you'd want to be maxing out the furniture cards, but I think the deck has changed a bit because we needed to have room for the Fiendsmith shenanigans here. Okay, Fiendsmith it up. Maybe I should revisit the deck. Vanquish Soul is the best deck in the OCG. We are far off from that happening in Master Duel. But despite that, the Crusader is still whipping out his Vanquish Soul and doing well. Good job. And because he has room for spicy extra deck monsters, the Super Poly is even more impactful than it normally is. Being able to fuse off 3 Link monsters against Sprite, that was crazy. Punk. Asim. Top 4 with Punk. We got the Millennium cards with our Punk deck. We're not playing Fiendsmith in here. Fiendsmith does take up a lot of spots in the extra deck, so if we want the most versatile way to play Punk with all of our different options, then I guess this is the way. Let's see. Mermail Atlantean getting second place, 41 card deck. Very nicely done. I feel most people are going to be playing this a lot more than 41. Got that Deep Sea with... You got this. No other nonsense fish in the deck. Most people are putting the fishies in to make the deep sea better. And Gargolo is, I think, abiding by an age-old rule I have with Yu-Gi-Oh! Combos, and that is, why are you making something already good better with bricks? If it's already incredible enough to be summoning Abyss Spikes, then just be happy with that. Or it definitively is going to eat up disruption from the opponent, or it being a level 7, you know, that's not too great, it being level 7. But, you know, summoning the Pikes is good enough. And we do have Dweller, where the TCG and OCG do not. So maybe copying their newer versions of their decks is not the ideal way when Dweller claps, especially in a Fiendsmith meta. So good job, Gargolo. I'm definitely inspired to be trying out something like this. And then we have Snake Eye Fiendsmith. Fireman, 43 cards, nothing too crazy. They're forcibly playing limited to 1 original Sinful. We got the first turn kill, which is crazy. Good job with that. We did pull it off. Spectre, 44 cards. Yup. Here is the extra deck. Looking pretty standard. I don't see anything out of the ordinary. And then we have Sprites. To look at the sprite list, I am going to go into the top decks page. I think it's going to be a better view for me to analyze what the heck happened here. So where are the sprites? Ooh, only 1 using Impulse. So let's zoom in enough. 40 cards, 45 cards, 45. Shout out to Natural, Chugio, and Awab Izam. Now, it's worth noting that before the grand finale, the Mermail Chad was 2-0ing everyone. Chugio was the only one to knock a game off of Mermail with this deck list. Triple Impulse. Yeah, triple Angler, triple Beaver, double Angler, triple Beaver. We got the Melfi in all 3. Melfi is the way. And 2 Anglers, the more popular way to be playing it. So this looks good. Good job to all of you, and you now all have 3 great deck lists to copy from as soon as the sprite cards get unhit in game. Yep, I would definitely combine these 3 and then just average out what they're all playing, and then you're gonna have a good deck. Let's see. Fiendsmith Control. I guess while we're here, we should just look at it there. Fiendsmith Control, I'm going to do last 7 days, hopefully not capturing the last meta weekly, as we did not. Fiendsmith Control. What is this? We got Millennium, Diablo Star, and Azamina in your Fiendsmith Control deck? Wow, we're just taking out Snake Eye. Snake Eye, we don't have room for you. I'd rather play more hand traps and control. Okay. And then, so Melito on that, Shiraig with a more standard way to play the deck. Only 1 not playing Primite. No Primite in Justinian's deck. Yep, okay. 48 cards, holy moly. We are playing Millennium instead of Primite, making the deck more aggressive. And then Nicky Boy, 40 cards. We got the Gamma Driver, okay. And then LL Wood, the best performing of the bunch, getting into the top 4. Looking quite similar to Nicky Boy's deck list, I think. Nicky Boy is not on Imperm. Okay, sure. And then what else we have here? And then we have the winning deck. I mean, we're already here, so it is branded. Branded with 2 branded fusions. There never really was a game where I felt like the second branded fusion actually contributed, where we were more likely to draw into it. That never was the case. Or maybe 1 copy of branded fusion, something happened to it, so having the second copy to later draw into it or dump it, it didn't really come up. It's just, we were just even more compelled to want to play the deck, and we did very well with it. Pesh, definitely a great pilot of the deck. There was a lot of nuance to the gameplay that I was very happy to be seeing that he was doing, and it was a pleasure watching. Very much liked it a lot. We got triple opening up in here, triple Albert, triple opening, double branded fusion. We are in it to win it. Branded with all the alt arts are coming next week. It's going to be a fun time for many. I cannot wait. I've been having a lot of fun playing the deck before all the new art comes out in the second branded fusion. What's shocking to me, I am shocked that there's no Anaconda. I feel like there are a lot of lines where the opponent disrupts you enough and you could go into the Anaconda. Now, you can't go into Anaconda if you branded opening or fusion deployment or plan on activating branded fusion that turn, which kind of is a major downside, of course. And with the second Branded Fusion, I guess we're more likely forcibly getting access to that Branded Fusion, where Anaconda is not even that good of an idea to even possibly set up for. But there you go. I commend you for this. This is good. This is great. And it won the entire event. So let's go.